Emily strolled down the familiar street corner of 5th and Main, where the city bustled with its usual morning activity. As she approached, she saw Henry, the homeless man who had become an integral part of her daily routine. With a warm smile, she handed him a steaming cup of coffee and a freshly made sandwich. Henry's eyes twinkled with gratitude, and they exchanged their customary greetings. Their conversation flowed easily, as it always did. Today, Henry shared a small piece of his history, something he rarely did. He spoke of a time when he had once been someone else, someone with responsibilities and a different kind of life. Though he didn't delve deeply into details, the snippet was enough to pique Emily's curiosity and evoke a sense of empathy. She felt a comforting familiarity in their exchanges, a small anchor in the midst of her busy life. For Emily, this morning ritual was more than just a charitable act. It was a brief, yet meaningful connection that provided her with a sense of purpose and humanity. As she continued her walk to work, she felt a gentle warmth in her heart, carrying with her the wisdom and resilience reflected in Henry's few words. Unbeknownst to her, these moments were the threads weaving together a tapestry of unexpected events that would soon change both their lives forever. Emily's morning routine had become a comforting ritual. Every day, she walked past the corner of 5th and Main, where Henry, the homeless man, would be sitting. She handed him a warm sandwich and coffee, and they shared a brief conversation. Henry always gave a small but intriguing snippet of his past, and Emily found solace in this daily interaction. It was a simple exchange, but it added a sense of human connection to her otherwise busy life. One morning, Emily walked past Henry's usual spot, but to her surprise, it was empty. She paused, looking around, hoping he had just stepped away momentarily. As the minutes passed, her concern grew. She decided to ask the nearby shopkeepers if they had seen him, but no one had noticed his absence. Determined to find him, Emily visited nearby shelters and hospitals, inquiring about Henry. Each place gave her the same answer: no one had seen him. Days turned into weeks, and Emily's concern deepened. She missed their conversations and his grateful smile. The absence of Henry in his usual spot left a void in her daily routine, a stark reminder of the fragility of human connections. Emily's sadness grew, and she often found herself lost in thoughts of where he could be and what might have happened to him. As she continued her search, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. She retraced her steps, revisiting the places she had already checked, but there was still no sign of Henry. Her worry turned into a deep sadness, and she found herself missing not just Henry's presence, but the comfort of their daily routine. It was as if a piece of her life had gone missing, and she couldn't find a way to fill the void. Emily's concern for Henry grew with each passing day, and she found herself thinking about him constantly. She wondered if he was safe, if he had found a place to stay, or if something more sinister had happened. The uncertainty gnawed at her, and she felt a deep sense of helplessness. Despite her efforts, there were no answers, only more questions. As weeks turned into months, Emily's sadness became a part of her daily life. She continued to walk past Henry's usual spot, hoping to see him sitting there once again, but it remained empty. The connection they had shared, brief as it was, had left a lasting impact on her. Henry had become more than just a part of her routine. He had become a part of her life, and his absence was deeply felt. Emily's search for Henry became a personal mission. She reached out to local organizations, hoping to find any information that could lead her to him. She even started a small campaign, distributing flyers with Henry's description and asking for any leads. Despite her efforts, there were still no answers, and the mystery of Henry's disappearance remained unsolved. In the quiet moments of her day, Emily found herself reflecting on the conversations she had shared with Henry. She remembered the snippets of his past he had revealed, and she wondered if they held any clues to his whereabouts. Each memory was a puzzle piece, but without Henry, the picture remained incomplete. Emily's concern for Henry had grown into a deep sadness that she couldn't shake. She missed their conversations and the sense of connection they brought. The routine that had once brought her comfort now served as a constant reminder of his absence. Every day, as she walked past his usual spot, she hoped to see him again, but the corner of Fifth and Main remained empty. Despite the sadness, Emily held onto a glimmer of hope. She believed that one day, she would find out what had happened to Henry and perhaps even reunite with him. Until then, she continued her search, driven by the memory of his grateful smile and the bond they had shared. The days turned colder, and Emily's concern for Henry deepened. She couldn't help but think about how he was faring in the harsh weather. The thought of him out there, alone and possibly in danger, weighed heavily on her heart. She knew that she couldn't give up, that she had to keep searching, no matter how long it took. Emily's determination was unwavering. She continued to spread the word about Henry, hoping that someone, somewhere, had seen him. She visited shelters, hospitals, and soup kitchens, leaving no stone unturned in her quest for answers. Her love for Henry, a man she had barely known, had grown into a deep, unyielding bond. As the months passed, Emily's search for Henry became a part of her identity. She was no longer just a concerned passerby. She was a woman on a mission, driven by a sense of duty and compassion. The memory of Henry's grateful smile and their shared conversations fueled her determination, and she vowed to find him, no matter what. In the end, Emily's journey was about more than just finding Henry. It was a testament to the power of human connection, the impact that even the briefest interactions can have on our lives. It was a reminder that kindness and compassion can bridge the gap between strangers, creating bonds that endure even in the face of uncertainty and loss. Emily's search for Henry continued, a beacon of hope in a world filled with questions. She held on to the belief that one day she would find him and that their paths would cross once again. Until then, she remained steadfast in her mission, driven by the memory of a man who had touched her life in ways she never could have imagined. One evening, as Emily was closing her bookstore, she noticed a letter slipped under the door. It was unlike any letter she had ever seen, exquisitely written on expensive stationery with a distinctive, elegant handwriting. Her heart raced as she picked it up, feeling the weight of the paper and sensing the importance of its contents. Upon opening the letter, Emily was taken aback by the revelation within. It was from Henry. He wrote of his past life as a successful businessman, a life he had chosen to leave behind. He detailed the circumstances that led him to live on the streets, sharing his struggles and the profound moments that pushed him to make such a drastic change. The narrative of his life was both tragic and inspiring, filled with wisdom and a deep understanding of the human condition. As she read on, Emily felt a tear slip down her cheek. Henry's words were filled with gratitude for her kindness that had touched him more deeply than she could have ever imagined. He spoke of their brief yet meaningful conversations, how they had given him hope on days when he felt it slipping away. Enclosed with the letter was a significant check, a gesture of thanks for the warmth and compassion she had shown him. Emily was overwhelmed by a mix of emotions. She felt a profound relief knowing that Henry was safe and well, but also a deep sadness for the hardships he had endured. The check in her hand was more than just money. It was a symbol of trust and a testament to the bond they had formed. She felt a sense of responsibility, not just to honor Henry's generosity, but to continue the spirit of kindness that had brought them together. As she carefully folded the letter and placed it back in its envelope, Emily looked around her bookstore. It was a place of stories, dreams, and connections, much like the one she had formed with Henry. She realized that her acts of kindness, no matter how small, had the power to change lives. And with this newfound understanding, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. She knew that her journey with Henry was far from over, and that together, they could bring hope to many more lives. Emily walked into the bank, her heart pounding in her chest. The letter from Henry had left her in a state of disbelief, and the check enclosed seemed too good to be true. She felt a whirlwind of emotions, skepticism, shock, and a strange mix of hope and fear. The bank's interior was a stark contrast to the chaos of her thoughts, its quiet, orderly atmosphere doing little to calm her nerves. She approached the counter, clutching the check tightly in her hand. The teller, a middle-aged woman with a kind smile, took the check from Emily and examined it closely. Emily watched as the teller's eyes widened slightly, then narrowed in concentration. After a few moments of typing into her computer and making a phone call, the teller nodded, confirming the check's authenticity. Emily felt a sudden rush of relief wash over her, mingling with a sense of gratitude and confusion. Henry's generosity was real, and his well-being seemed assured, but the sudden change in his circumstances left her with more questions than answers. As she left the bank, the weight of the situation began to sink in. Henry, the man she had known as a humble, homeless figure on the street, had revealed himself to be someone entirely different. His letter had hinted at a past life filled with success and wealth, but also a deliberate choice to live on the streets. Emily couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the story, something deeper that she had yet to uncover. Walking back to her bookstore, Emily's mind raced with possibilities. She replayed their conversations in her head, searching for clues that might have hinted at Henry's true identity. She remembered the way he had always seemed to have a certain dignity, a quiet intelligence that set him apart from others. Yet, she had never imagined the extent of his hidden life. That evening, as she sat in the cozy nook of her bookstore, Emily couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at the turn her life had taken. The check represented a significant change for her as well, a chance to make a real difference. But more than that, it was a testament to the impact of her small acts of kindness. She realized that her daily gestures of compassion had resonated deeply with Henry, prompting him to reveal his true self and extend his generosity. Despite the gratitude and relief, Emily still felt a lingering confusion. Why had Henry chosen to live on the streets? What had driven him to leave behind a life of success and comfort? And why had he decided to reach out to her now, after all this time? The questions swirled in her mind, leaving her restless and eager for answers. In the days that followed, Emily found herself reflecting on the nature of generosity and the connections between people. She thought about the impact of her actions on Henry and how his response had, in turn, affected her life. It was a reminder of the power of human kindness and the ways in which it could ripple out, creating unexpected and profound changes. As she went about her daily routines, Emily felt a renewed sense of purpose. She was determined to honor Henry's gift by continuing to spread kindness and making a positive difference in her community. She knew that there were still many unanswered questions, but she trusted that the answers would reveal themselves in time. Emily's life had taken an unexpected turn, and she embraced the uncertainty with an open heart. She felt a deep gratitude for the connection she had shared with Henry and looked forward to the future with hope and determination. The journey was far from over, and she was ready to face whatever came next, knowing that her compassion and generosity could change the world, one small act at a time, my best complete final answer to the task. A few days later, Emily was busy organizing the new arrivals in her bookstore when the doorbell chimed, signaling a visitor. She glanced up, expecting one of her regular customers, but the sight that greeted her was far from ordinary. A sharply dressed man, clean-shaven and clad in a tailored suit, stood at the entrance. His eyes, however, were unmistakable. It was Henry. Emily's heart skipped a beat as she tried to reconcile the image of the homeless man she had come to know with the polished gentleman before her. Henry smiled warmly, his eyes reflecting a newfound clarity and determination. He approached her, and with a voice that carried both gratitude and resolve, he began to explain. Henry had spent the past days reevaluating his life, coming to terms with his past and the choices that had led him to the streets. The profound kindness that Emily had shown him sparked a transformation within him, a desire to give back and make a difference. He revealed his plan to start a foundation aimed at helping the homeless, providing them with the resources and support they needed to rebuild their lives. Emily listened intently, her emotions a whirlwind of surprise, admiration, and hope. Henry's sincerity was palpable, and the passion in his voice was contagious. He expressed his desire for her to join him in this endeavor, believing that together they could create meaningful change. The bookstore, once a sanctuary of stories and wisdom, now felt like the starting point of a new chapter in their lives. Emily felt a renewed sense of purpose, a calling that aligned perfectly with her compassionate nature. She agreed to join Henry, and from that moment on, their journey took a new direction, one filled with hope, determination, and the promise of a brighter future for those in need. Emily agreed to join Henry in his mission, feeling a sense of destiny and renewal course through her veins. Their shared vision began to take shape as they tirelessly worked to establish the foundation. They started small, reaching out to local businesses and community leaders, sharing their plans and dreams. Emily found herself rejuvenated by the work, her days filled with purpose and her nights with a contented exhaustion. They coordinated outreach programs, providing food, shelter, and medical care to those in need. Every success story, every person they helped off the streets, became a testament to their growing impact. The foundation quickly gained attention, and support began to pour in from unexpected quarters. Local media picked up their story, painting Emily and Henry as modern-day heroes. Volunteers flocked to their cause, eager to contribute to something meaningful. Donations from the community and beyond surged, enabling them to expand their services. Emily's bookstore became a hub of activity, a place where plans were hatched and lives were changed. As the foundation grew, so did Emily's sense of fulfillment. She saw the tangible results of their efforts in the faces of those they helped. People who had once been invisible to society were now finding hope and dignity. Emily's connection with Henry deepened, their partnership becoming a seamless blend of mutual respect and shared goals. One evening, as Emily walked through the bustling community center they had established, she paused to take in the scene. Volunteers were serving meals, a medical team was attending to a line of patients, and children played in a safe, warm environment. She felt a profound sense of belonging and accomplishment. Henry approached her, his eyes reflecting the same emotions. Together, they had turned a simple idea into a beacon of hope for so many. They stood side by side, watching as their foundation continued to grow, touching more lives each day. Emily knew that this was just the beginning, that their work would continue to ripple outwards, creating waves of change in the community and beyond. With each passing day, Emily felt her life becoming richer and more meaningful. She had found her purpose, and in doing so, had helped countless others find theirs. The foundation was not just a testament to Henry's generosity, but to the power of kindness and the impact of believing in something larger than oneself. Emily found herself in the dimly lit storage room of the Foundation's office, surrounded by stacks of old files and dusty boxes. She had taken on the task of organizing the archives, hoping to find some historical documents that could be used to promote their work. Slowly, she began sorting through the yellowed papers, feeling a sense of nostalgia as she uncovered bits and pieces of the past. As she reached for another box labeled Miscellaneous, her hand brushed against something hard and flat. Curiosity piqued. She pulled out an old, weathered photograph. She blew off the dust and held it up to the light, her eyes growing wide in disbelief. In the photograph, two men stood side by side, smiling warmly at the camera. One of them was unmistakably Henry, albeit much younger, his hair darker and his face free of the lines that now marked his years on the streets. The other man was Emily's father, looking dapper in a tailored suit, his arm draped casually around Henry's shoulder. Emily's heart skipped a beat as she realized the significance of the image. Her mind raced, trying to piece together the implications. Henry had never mentioned knowing her father, and yet here was undeniable proof of their connection. She felt a wave of emotion wash over her, shock, curiosity, and a deep sense of fate intertwining their lives. She continued to study the photograph, searching for more clues. The background showed an elegant office, likely from the days when her father was a prominent businessman. She wondered what circumstances had brought Henry into her father's life and why he had never spoken about it. Emily carefully placed the photograph on the desk and resumed her search through the box, hoping to find more information. After sifting through a few more documents, she stumbled upon a letter. The ink faded, but still legible. It was addressed to her father and signed by Henry. She read it eagerly, her eyes scanning the words for answers. The letter revealed a friendship that had spanned decades. Henry had been a close confidant and advisor to her father, their bond forged through mutual respect and shared values. The letter spoke of business ventures, philanthropic efforts, and personal challenges they had faced together. It was clear that Henry had played a significant role in her father's life, much more than she had ever known. As Emily absorbed this new information, she felt a profound sense of connection to Henry. Their meeting had not been a mere coincidence. It was as if destiny had brought them together to continue the work her father had started. She felt a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that their foundation was built on a legacy of friendship and shared dreams. Emily carefully placed the photograph and letter back in the box, her mind buzzing with questions. She knew she needed to talk to Henry to understand the full story of their connection. But for now, she took a moment to reflect on the journey that had brought them here. In the quiet solitude of the storage room, Emily felt a deep sense of gratitude for the serendipitous events that had led her to this discovery. It was a reminder that life often worked in mysterious ways, weaving together the past and present to create a tapestry of meaning and purpose. As she closed the box and prepared to leave the room, Emily felt a renewed determination to honor her father's legacy and the bond he had shared with Henry. Their story was not just about helping the homeless, it was about friendship, loyalty, and the enduring power of human connection. With the photograph safely tucked away, Emily walked back to the Foundation's main office, her heart filled with a sense of destiny. She knew that the road ahead would be challenging, but with Henry by her side and the memory of her father guiding her, she felt ready to face whatever came their way. Together, they would continue to build a future rooted in compassion, hope, and the unbreakable ties of friendship. Henry had always maintained an air of mystery, but nothing could have prepared Emily for what she was about to discover. As they sat in the modest office of their rapidly growing foundation, Henry finally revealed the secret he had been harboring. Henry had been working undercover, collaborating with a major philanthropic organization. His life on the streets had been part of an elaborate scheme to test the effectiveness of grassroots charity. Emily, with her unwavering kindness and genuine compassion, had become the perfect candidate for their support. Her daily acts of kindness had not gone unnoticed. Henry explained that the organization had been searching for someone whose actions could inspire others, someone whose heart was pure and intentions selfless. Emily had become the beacon of hope they had been looking for. With her as their focal point, the organization had decided to pour resources into their joint mission. Their foundation, once a small, hopeful endeavor, began to expand at an unprecedented rate. Emily listened in awe as Henry recounted the plan. He described how every conversation, every sandwich, and every cup of coffee had been part of a larger picture. His absence had been orchestrated to test her resolve and dedication. The mysterious letter, the significant check, and his transformation were all pieces of a puzzle that had now come together. The Foundation's work started gaining momentum. With the backing of the philanthropic organization, they were able to reach more people, provide more services, and ultimately change thousands of lives. Emily's bookstore became a hub of activity, with volunteers streaming in and out, organizing events, and planning new initiatives. Emily's emotions were a whirlwind of astonishment, gratitude, and a deep sense of fulfillment. She had never imagined that her small acts of kindness could lead to something so monumental. The revelation of Henry's undercover work added a layer of depth to their connection and their mission. As the Foundation continued to grow, Emily and Henry's bond strengthened. They worked tirelessly, side by side, driven by a shared vision of a better world. The community rallied around them, inspired by their story and the tangible impact of their efforts. The Foundation's success reached new heights, gaining national and even international recognition. Emily discovered that Henry had funneled most of his inherited fortune into the Foundation's accounts, choosing to live modestly himself. His selflessness moved her deeply, and she found herself falling in love with him. Their partnership blossomed into a deep, transformative relationship. Their love story became a testament to the power of kindness, compassion, and selflessness. Together, they created a ripple effect of generosity and hope that touched countless lives. Emily and Henry's Foundation became a beacon of light in a world often overshadowed by darkness. Their journey, marked by unexpected twists and turns, had brought them to a place of profound purpose and fulfillment. Their love, rooted in shared values and a common mission, became the cornerstone of their legacy. In the end, Emily realized that her father's old friend had not only changed her life, but had also given her the greatest gift of all, a chance to make a difference. Their story, intertwined with fate and fueled by love, continued to inspire others, proving that even the smallest acts of kindness could spark a revolution of change. MY best complete final answer to the task. As the Foundation gained international recognition, Emily discovered an unexpected truth. She found records indicating that Henry had funneled most of his inherited fortune into the Foundation's accounts, choosing to live modestly himself. This revelation moved Emily deeply. She had always admired Henry's dedication and vision, but this act of selflessness unveiled a side of him she hadn't seen before. Henry's choice to live simply, despite his wealth, resonated with Emily. It showed his genuine commitment to the cause they both held dear. Emily began to see Henry not just as a partner in their mission, but as a man of profound integrity and compassion. This realization kindled a warmth within her heart that she could no longer ignore. Their partnership, which had been rooted in mutual respect and shared goals, began to transform into something more profound. Emily found herself drawn to Henry in ways that transcended their professional relationship. Their late-night discussions about the Foundation's future, their shared laughter over minor setbacks, and their silent understanding during moments of triumph began to weave an intricate tapestry of affection and admiration. As they worked side by side, Emily noticed the small, tender moments that revealed Henry's affection for her. The way he would bring her a cup of tea just the way she liked it, his gentle encouragement whenever she doubted herself, and the quiet pride in his eyes whenever they celebrated a milestone. These gestures, though subtle, spoke volumes about his feelings. One evening, while they were reviewing the Foundation's latest achievements, Emily found herself overwhelmed with emotion. The magnitude of what they had accomplished together, coupled with her growing feelings for Henry, made her heart swell with gratitude and love. She realized that their journey had not only transformed the lives of countless individuals, but had also deeply impacted her own. Henry, too, had been harboring feelings for Emily. Her unwavering dedication, her compassionate heart, and her relentless drive to make a difference had captivated him from the beginning. He admired her strength and vulnerability, her ability to connect with people on a profound level, and her unwavering belief in their mission. Over time, his admiration had blossomed into love. As they continued to pour their hearts into the Foundation, their bond grew stronger. They became each other's confidants, supporters, and sources of strength. Their relationship, built on a foundation of mutual respect and shared dreams, began to flourish in ways neither had anticipated. Emily and Henry's love story became an integral part of the Foundation's narrative. Their partnership was a testament to the power of selflessness, compassion, and unwavering belief in a shared vision. Their love created a ripple effect of generosity and hope, inspiring others to join their cause and make a difference in the world. The Foundation continued to expand, touching lives across the globe. Emily and Henry's love story became an inspiration to many, demonstrating that true love could be found in the most unexpected places and that a shared commitment to a greater good could forge unbreakable bonds. Together, they created a legacy of love and compassion that would endure for generations. Their journey, marked by challenges and triumphs, had not only transformed their own lives, but had also ignited a movement of kindness and generosity that spread far and wide. In the end, Emily and Henry realized that their greatest achievement was not just the foundation they had built, but the love they had found in each other. Their hearts, once driven by a shared mission, now beat in unison, creating a symphony of love and hope that echoed through the lives they touched. Their story was a testament to the transformative power of love and selflessness, a reminder that when two souls come together with a shared purpose, they can create a world filled with boundless possibilities and infinite compassion.